This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Mark Leibovit. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, April 28th. No other day like it, and we certainly appreciate, as always, you tuning in here on a Saturday morning. Have an interesting show for you again this week. Pretty much a good lineup of guests, our steady guests. We're going to have Sinclair No joining us later in the show. Our good friend Henry Weingarten, Don Violo, hopefully Harry Boxer can join us, and we may have a bit of a surprise as well. So let's see how the show unfolds here on the Saturday morning. A lot to talk about with the markets. We had a big orgasmic spike in Amazon on Friday as earnings came out, and we have pretty much earnings season winding down to an end here. My view is come May, we have to be cautious here running into the fall, and this could be the last hurrah in terms of a short-term stock market rally. Even though big picture, we could argue about the Dow going to 35, 40,000, all kinds of numbers here. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but I think, we're still the bulls have to prove themselves. If you look at my vrtrader.com newsletter, you can see some downtrending resistance lines in the major indexes. We're going to really have to break those out to prove that I'm wrong in this comment. Certainly the market could prove me wrong and continue to move higher, but we had a little bit of a canary in a coal mine warning, I thought, in February. So we'll see how it all pans out. We're pretty much taking it a day at a time, individual trades. A big standout this past week has been Bitcoin, which has surprised a lot of traders and investors. Along those lines, I wanted to bring up, if I haven't done so already, and introduce our VR Crypto Letter. If you go to vrtrader.com, you can sign up for it. It's a new product. Talk about the cryptocurrencies, the ICOs, individual stocks that benefit from the from this booming industry. It's out there. It's happening. So, we can't ignore it. So, it's called the VR Crypto Letter. It's long coming. We talk about Bitcoin. We talk about Ethereum. We talk about Litecoin and a bunch of other interesting opportunities out there. So, if you're interested in this burgeoning area, go to vrtrader.com for that. And I'd also want to remind you, we still have a relatively new product which is doing very well, our VR Trading Addict service. I came up with that term because I'm a bit of a trading addict myself, and that service provides mostly a trade a day when we can, something that we come up with. And for those of you who are looking for short-term action in the market, I would go to vrtrader.com and also look for the VR Trading Addict. So a lot to talk about here in terms of the economy and what's going on in the real world. I want to read you an interesting quote, the best political advice that you might want to take advantage of. And I'm going to read this very slowly and clearly so you can understand the time frame that it's coming from. And the quote is, the budget should be balanced, the treasury should be refilled, public debt should be reduced, the arrogance of officialdom should be tempered and controlled, and the assistance to foreign lands should be curtailed. lest Rome will become bankrupt, people must again learn to work instead of living on public assistance. This was Cicero, 55 BC, and it's just bone-chilling. You can see the comparison to what's happening in America today and the world today happened in Rome, 55 BC. Same kind of problems. Public debt, arrogance of officialdom, and the assistance to foreign land, so forth and so on. Nothing really changes. And we talk about history repeating itself or rhyming. It's just incredible. Human nature is what it is, and unfortunately, that's the big problem. Meanwhile, I hate to disappoint you, but particularly the liberal mainstream media out there, but our good friend Mark Skousen, who was our special guest last week, findings his letter, I'm going to misquote the name of the letter, his forecasting letter, but he's the promoter and force behind the upcoming Freedom Fest in Vegas coming in early July. So we talked about that in last week's show. We're going to have Mark back on. But basically, you don't hear this from the liberal mainstream media. He reports that the U.S. economy under Trump is exploding like nothing ever since Reagan. The Fed and the media quote GDP, which is made of a dramatic recovery under Trump, but the more accurate gauge of the economy's health is a new stat called GO, G-O for gross output. GO reflects the full value of the business supply chain and business-to-business spending. This model, therefore, better recognizes the vital contributors of entrepreneurship, capital investment, and innovative technology. Skousen's new measurement of economic growth was featured in Tuesday's Wall Street Journal. You may want to check that out. The results under Trump are remarkable. For the 3 quarters in a row under Trump, GO accelerated. The supply chain took off in the fourth quarter of 2017, growing at a 7.5% annual rate. That's more than double the rate of GDP growth of the fastest pace since before the Great Recession. Real GO, G-O, which includes both GDP and supply chain, rose 4.7%, Skousen says, as boom in business activity should translate into higher economic growth, that is GDP, soon. In other words, the numbers indicate President Trump has dramatically turned around the U.S. economy, and the best is yet to come. We don't hear much of this in the financial press, of course. So, of course, we hear about Amazon and things like that, I suppose, but we don't really hear that as often as we would like. So, very interesting insight there. And meanwhile, we also have to keep an eye on what's happening in the central banks. While the majority keep bashing the Federal Reserve, other central banks seem to escape any criticism. The European Central Bank under Mario Draghi has engaged in what history will call the great monetary experiment of the 21st century, the daring experiment of negative interest rates. A look behind the scenes reveals that this experiment has been not just a failure, it has undermined the entire global economic structure. We're looking at pension funds being driven into insolvency as a traditional asset allocation model of 60% equity, 40% bonds has failed to secure the future negative interest rates. It's been failed to the future of negative interest rates, and then the SEB has exceeded the 40% ownership of Eurozone government debt. The ECB realizes it can only sell any of its holdings ever again, and it cannot even refuse to reinvest what it has already bought when those bonds expire. The Fed has announced it will not reinvest anything. Draghi is trapped. He cannot stop buying government debt, for if he does, interest rates will soar. He cannot escape this crisis. It's only going to end not going to end very nicely. So when this policy collapses, forced by the free markets, confidence will collapse rapidly, and once people no longer believe the central banks can control anything, the end has arrived. So there's a little bit of dire prediction here, what's going on with the ECB in Europe. So there are some issues, ahead here, and of course, looking into our own Federal Reserve, we have a meeting coming up here next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, and rates are going to go higher. And the real reason I'm told rates are going up, folks, you may not have read this in the financial press, is that there's a pension crisis in this country, and pensions can't afford to meet their minimum expenditures and payouts. So the Fed's got to bring interest rates up so at least they can earn a basic interest rate. So that's the real reason rates are moving up, to protect the pensions in this country. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back after a break with our good friend Don Violo and Henry Weingarten here on Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-261-9818 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-261-9818. Again, 800-261-9818.
Healthcare reform is confusing, but whether it's finding an affordable insurance plan, keeping your doctor, or being able to afford needed prescriptions, navigating the healthcare system has become a challenge. Control your own healthcare costs and choices with Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of each other's medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. It's Saturday, April 28th, and we have our good friend Don Violo joining us from equityclock.com and timingthemarket.ca, based in Toronto. Don's always kind and takes time to provide the Canadian perspective a little bit, and in many cases, as we know, both the Canadian and U.S. markets overlap, so it's good timing for all of us. Good morning, Don. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me back, Mark.
Well, is it sell may go away?
Well, I got a different expression for it, and we'll get to that very shortly.
I want to hear yours.
Well, my expression, actually I wrote this for my CMT paper back in 1987. It's buy when it snows, in other words, late October, and sell when it goes, in other words, late in April. Now, that applies clearly in the northern parts of the U.S. and also Canada. Probably not so much in Phoenix, but that's basically the strategy for the equity markets in both Canada and the United States.
We have mountains up here. We get snow. Believe it or not. Okay, go ahead.
So, but this week, it's time to take some money off the table if you own U.S. and Canadian equities. Last week was very revealing. First quarter results by a wide variety of companies, for the most part, exceeded consensus sales and earnings estimates. Analysts increased their consensus first quarter estimates for S&P 500 companies just last week from a gain of 18.5% to a gain of 23%. Yet, unless results were spectacular, such as occurred with Amazon and Intel, traders started to take profits on use.
Right, and that's usually a sign that a correction's coming, right?
Well, yeah, we're getting close to the end of the first quarter earnings report season. Effectively, next week is the end of the reporting season for most major U.S. companies, and look for more profit-taking on use.
So we do hit a seasonal peak this time of year. How do the stats show? Is it very reliable?
It's amazing. The phase buy when it snows, sell when it goes, is particularly relevant in U.S. midterm election years. What happens during midterm election years is volatility in equity markets start to increase from late April and continue to be very high until mid-October, mainly due to concerns about possible changes in political control in Congress. Now, these concerns are very real this year. It looks like the voting control by the Republicans in both the House and the Senate is very, very narrow. A small change can have an impact on control.
Right. So that's definitely, of course, there's always the potential of a summer rally and all that kind of stuff, but it could be really choppy and could get nasty into the fall. Don, thank you so much for those insights. Don Violo from equityclock.com and timingthemarket.ca. We'll talk to you next week and have a great weekend, Don. Thank you for squeezing a couple minutes in for us.
Thank you, Mark.
Our good friend Henry Weingarten is on the line. Oh, I'm saying we were trying to reach Henry. I'm sorry. So Henry Weingarten will be up with us here in just a moment, and from afund.com. So we'll see if we can reach him. If not, well, we'll jump into another couple markets here and talk about what's going on until he does join us here on the line. The U.S. dollar broke out this past week a bit. We are long the U.S. dollar here, which is not particularly favorable to traditionally to the gold market, though we do see, gold and dollars sometimes rally together, so we can't always discount that. For example, on Friday we saw the U.S. dollar up and gold rallying together, but generally speaking it doesn't paint the most positive picture. But most were pretty bearish on the dollar, and our technical work was saying buy that breakout, so it could resume its uptrend, and we're unable to reach Henry this week, so I apologize. Henry Weingarten from afund.com will be joining us hopefully next week. The overall market's been trading, basically in this 24,500 to 23,500 range, back and forth. We can stretch that a little bit on either end, looking at the charts here. But we had a nice sell-off last week, and pretty much followed through into this week, and then it turned up, and pretty much related to the earnings reports that came out. But we're still not out of the woods yet, and as we just indicated with Don, we have the seasonal tendencies coming up here. Earnings are out of the way, and there is still risk that the February lows could again be tested or exceeded. In fact, if we do take out the 23,360 low in the Dow Industrials, in my technical work, I got a measurement down to about 22,500. So, in fact, in our VR Trader newsletter, we actually now putting on some short-term short positions in the Dow Industrials using some inverse ETFs here, using stops, of course, but sort of planning that we could get a bit of a retracement. Of course, the big standout has been the NASDAQ, but if you look at the Dow Transports, they've been underperforming here a bit, and though they rallied a bit on Friday, volume had slowed into recent highs. Volume increases, we got a little bit of a correction even as late as Thursday of this week, and I always look at the Dow Transports as a little bit of a leading indicator for the market, so that's very important. Of course, Apple Computer had a bit of a problem on Friday, a sell-off in that stock, down at one point around 3 or so points, and that's been a big leader in the FANG group. So, Amazon did great and may continue to do well, but, that was a spurt on earnings and news, and, I'm not saying you should sell your Amazon long term, but it's a bit of a warning. So let's jump over to crude oil. Crude oil ran all the way up to $69.56 on the 19th, and it's pulled back to about $67 a barrel. My technical work has been saying for a while we could push into the 70s, if not the low 80s. I would say 72, 75 range is reasonable, but at the moment we're just on the sidelines. We took some profits in our USO, which is our United States oil trade that we put on at vrtrader.com and at our VR Trading Addict and our other services. So we may have to jump back in if it breaks out, but we were hoping to do a little fishing here on a little bit of a pullback, so keeping an eye on that crude oil market. As far as gold is concerned, well, it's been frustrating for the gold bulls. Bitcoin, of course, and cryptocurrencies taking a little bit of the stuffings out of gold, and with good reason, because we're looking for an alternate currency, and those cryptos I think are providing that, particularly with the what's going on in Europe, the ECB that I just talked about on segment 1, and the flash surprises that could occur at any time. Keeping your money out of the system is always a good idea. Not having all your money in quote unquote the system. So gold is, I guess, one way to go. Cryptocurrencies is another. Perhaps at real estate, other diversification. This is Wall Street Raw, but I'm not advocating only the stock market, folks. If you follow me for years, that's pretty much my viewpoint. But as far as gold is concerned, I mentioned this last week, there could be a little bit of a bull trap there. A lot of the analysts looking for that breakout above 1372, so let's see if that unfolds. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back after the break with Harry Boxer.
Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw Report and Gold News Raw Report at wallstreetraw.com.
This is a warning to all household pests, to all cockroaches, spiders, ants, mice, and rats. If you've made yourself at home in someone else's home, you'd better hope the owners never hear about Terminix. Because Terminix has the know-how and the means to do whatever it takes to remove you from that home. Terminix has 90 years of experience eliminating home invaders. And they make it easy for homeowners to be protected by offering a free pest estimate by calling 1-800-676-9879. Cockroaches, spiders, ants, mice, rats, and other pests. This is your last chance. With one call, Terminix will remove you from the home you've invaded. If you think you can simply come back later, think again. Terminix will never stop working to keep you out with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Pests.
Wherever you are, I will find you.
Pests, you've been warned. Homeowners are calling Terminix right now for a free pest estimate. 1-800-676-9879. 1-800-676-9879. 30-day money-back guarantee at participating locations. Limitations apply. See plan for details.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great-tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great-tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
With uncertain times in the United States, it's only prudent to consider storing precious metals in a safe place outside our borders. At Miles Franklin, we have done just that for you. Partnered with the most respected storage company in the industry, Miles Franklin is proud to offer the only fully insured private safe deposit box program in North America, held in Vancouver and Toronto. Send us your previously purchased precious metals or have one of our brokers help you purchase something new. Questions? Please call one of our experienced brokers at 866-485-4346. Solid foundational storage, partnered with the most respected name in security. Maintaining an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating and residing in Minnesota, the only state in America that regulates the precious metals industry, making doing business in precious metals with Miles Franklin the safest choice. Call us at 866-485-4346. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Limited, a name you can trust.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw, Saturday, April 28th, and we have our good friend Harry Boxer on the line. Harry publishes the techtrader.com, which is an intraday trading service, one of the best in the business, if not the best, and as I always say, one of the hardest working people in the business, because if you sign up to the techtrader.com, I believe Harry still has a 2-week free trial. You can watch intraday chart action at work. Harry, thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure. Always good to be here.
Well, it's been a wild week, and we had a lot of earnings reports, but sell may go away is coming up. Do you think the market might be a little toppy here?
Well, it's more than toppy. The market has come down substantially. I mean,
intraday, put it this way, when you get major stocks like Amazon, Microsoft, Intel gapping up, way more than average, and then immediately dropping sharply, and the Nasdaq 100 comes down 130 points from its high to its low, it's not good. And then the bounce here is that we got is right to resistance. If it doesn't get through 66, 78, 80 on the NDX and 26, 72 on the S&P, and we start to roll over it, we can get another sharp leg down, and we'll end up with a very nasty reversal day on a Friday, which could not augur well for next week. So I think today's action is going to be very important.
Yeah, reminding our listeners, we are taping this interview with Harry Friday, and the market has still got about another 3 hours to close. But we're reflecting on the comments as of the market at this time. So, Harry, let's talk about what's happening this week in some individual sectors. I know Bitcoin, GBTC took off. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, but there wasn't much of a follow-through. I'm not enamored with it. But I'll tell you one thing that really surprised me today. First Solar got upgraded by several firms, and announced last night that they are building a plant that's going to triple their capacity. And the stock just exploded today for about 7 or 8 points. It's up about 5 now, but this is a new high. Now, we first put it in a year ago as a swing trade at 30, 31 range. It's now 80. It looks like it can go to 100, 110 here. But yes, more importantly, some of the stocks in that group that look really interesting are Sunrun, which has built a big base, broken out, and retested. That looks substantially higher. And then, of course, the second largest firm in the country is SunPower, and I love the way that looks in terms of building a big base. It hasn't broken out yet, but those three stocks are the ones that follow in the solar group. I'm not, betting up per se, but I do like the way they're acting in here. There is, I also still like a lot of the biotech.
Okay. Let's talk about the biotechs. Any particular ones?
Well, I have swing trades on several. I can give you a quick take on them. Let's see. I like Supernus a lot, SUPN, or TRX. And I also like a few of the companies, B-Cell, VCEL, and a couple of the low-price stocks I think are sleepers. One that has come way back down is a company called Viking Therapeutics. It's trading under 4. It was $7.35 a couple months ago. I think the stock is in a buying zone. It's had a nice 50%, nice retracement. Real promising drugs in the pipeline, or maybe some data coming out. The stock could double or triple on that data. If it's good, of course. If it isn't, it has to stock. So I think that's what you get with bio. Okay.
A lot of ideas from Harry Boxer. Yeah. Thank you, Harry. Harry Boxer, okay. You're breaking up a little bit on your cell, so we'll pick you up again next week. Harry Boxer from the techtrader.com, and we'll talk to you next week. And have a great weekend, Harry. Thank you for spending a couple minutes with us. Take care.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Well, we're going to try to reach Sinclair now. Yeah. Our next special guest in just a few moments here. And I apologize for the technical connection with Harry there. He's running remotely out of his Palm Springs La Quinta operation, so sometimes we don't get the best connection. But if you want more information, definitely go to the techtrader.com. Also, as another reminder, we did mention this a few moments ago, we are going to be attending the Freedom Fest at Bally's in Las Vegas, July 11th through 14th. Actually be broadcasting from there as well. Terrific lineup. Jim Rogers is going to be there. Steve Forbes is going to be there. John Stossel from Fox News is going to be there. George Will, Larry Elder. So a lot of business-related stuff as well as political. My good friend Sinclair Noah is on the phone. Sinclair, thank you for joining us.
Mark, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Sinclair from KFN and 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com. Sinclair, we're going to spend a little time with you here this morning. Let's talk first about the upcoming Fed meeting next week. That's coming up real early. The expectations are higher rates again, or you think they're going to hold back this week?
They're going to hold back this week. They raised rates at their last meeting. They'll give that a little bit of time to sink in. They still have plenty of time to raise rates 2 more times this year for a total of 3. Or for that matter, if they do decide to go with 4 rate hikes this year, they have plenty of time to get 3 accomplished. They're not going to surprise the markets. This was one of the hallmarks of the Yellen Fed. I think Powell is going to follow along in that same vein. And if we are going to see any rate hikes, they will be extremely well telegraphed. And this has not been well telegraphed.
Well, we saw the 10-year Treasury yield finally reach 3% during the week, and traders knew this was coming. We all knew this was coming with the Fed raising rates and so forth. So what's your feeling about what's happening here? Because we do have cross forces at work here. Investors start saying, gee, why do I need to be in the stock market if I get 3% on a bond?
Well, that's part of what they're saying. And, of course, it's a psychological level. We saw a little bit of nervousness from the markets because of the 10-year yield hitting 3%. I don't think it really makes that much difference. Look, you're not going to park money in a 10-year note. If you're nervous about the markets, if you're trying to compete against the stock market and the dividend yield on the S&P 500 of 1.9%, you're not going to park money for 10 years over in treasuries, and unless you're willing to park it for that period of time, you could very easily lose as yields continue to move higher and higher. So that's not where you want to park. Now, a 2-year Treasury note, that might be a slightly different story. And on a 2-year Treasury note, now all of a sudden you can get right about 2.5%. That's a different story.
Yeah.
Not bad. That's a little bit better than the
0.25% in the bank.
Dividend yield.
The 0.25% we were getting in the banks, right?
And it's a little bit better than the rate of inflation that we're looking at. So it used to be you'd put money in treasuries, you'd actually be getting a negative real return because of inflation. It's not the case anymore. So, yeah, if you want to park a little bit of money off to the side, you could do it in 2-year notes, or for that matter, even 1-year notes. You're not going to be punished like you were in the past, but you're not being rewarded either.
Sinclair?
Nobody's paying fund managers for that kind of yield.
Sinclair will be back with us after the break. We're going to take a break here at Wall Street Raw, and don't touch your dial. We're going to talk about the banks behaving badly segment.
You are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown founder-owned small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com. Or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I am 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, April 28th. No other day like it, as my good friend Sinclair Noah often says on his show, and thank you again for tuning in. It's that special time.
It's time for another edition of Banks Behaving Badly.
Well, Sinclair, we have a lot to talk about this week on this segment, and let's hit off with our favorite bank, I think probably of all time, Wells Fargo. They certainly have lots of problems. Let's start with some of those. We have a list.
Wells Fargo again. Boy, I mean, we know the problem with opening up millions of bogus accounts, just opening them up to boost the sales numbers. We know about the problems with charging unnecessary fees on mortgages and redlining mortgages. We know about the problems with putting auto loan customers into auto insurance without their permission. The bank has been accused of ripping off mom and pop shops on credit card fees. They've retaliated against workers who made ethics complaints to whistleblowers. Last week, federal regulators fined Wells Fargo $1 billion for various customer abuses. That was the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Wells Fargo, you would think that they would start to get the message by now that their business model has some flaws. The Federal Reserve is overseeing them at this point and saying they can't grow any bigger until they work out some of their problems. You would think that they would wake up and look around and say, you know what, we need to clean up our act. You might think that. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, the board at Wells Fargo just hadn't figured it out yet. There was a recent regulatory filing And Wells Fargo's board said that they're probing whether the bank made inappropriate referrals or recommendations to plan participants in 401k plans. Specifically, they're looking into rollovers of 401k plans into individual retirement accounts. That's a fairly common practice. You retire, you leave a job, you roll over the 401k plan into an individual retirement account, then you're in a little bit more control. But what Wells Fargo did was they saw that as a chance to rip off even more customers. Now, this filing was published last month, hardly noticed at all, but Wells Fargo's board said that they're conducting an investigation in response to inquiries from federal government agencies. This is still the early stages. They didn't explain which agency is digging into this issue. Wall Street Journal is reporting it's the Labor Department investigating whether Wells Fargo has been pushing 401k plan participants into more expensive individual retirement accounts at the bank. Usually it's the other way around. Usually a 401k plan is a little bit more expensive in terms of fees and so forth than an individual retirement account. But the Labor Department is also looking into whether Wells Fargo's retirement plan services unit tried to push IRA holders to buy in-house funds to generate even more revenue. Whether that in-house fund was appropriate or the best investment for the person didn't matter. They just tried to push them in there to get the commissions. You would think that they would wise up to this, but they don't. They just keep going. And part of the reason they are able to keep going like this and continue these abuses is because they never really get punished. That $1 billion that they were fined last week, that's no big deal for them. It really isn't. Cumulative, it starts to add up. Yes, $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Pretty soon you are talking about real money. But Wells Fargo is still so big that a monetary fine, that doesn't really make a difference. At some point, people have to be fired. Somebody should go to jail. And the bank should be broken up. There's no reason why they should be allowed to continue like this. This almost sounds like a racketeering organization. And there are specific rules for racketeering.
Didn't the chairman resign? Didn't the chairman resign?
Yeah, chairman. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was John Stumpf. He resigned. Now we have Sloan. Sloan's in there, and Sloan's getting a pay increase, by the way. Getting a bonus increase because he's doing such a great job.
Only $1 billion fine, so it could have been more, right?
Yeah, could have been worse. Hey, the bank is still open for business, so it could have been a lot worse.
Listen, I have a checking account with Wells Fargo, and I got a note this week they're going to make some changes to their policy for cash deposits. I don't know if you read about this or not, but basically they're saying they'll only accept cash deposits into your Wells Fargo consumer checking or savings account if it is coming from an account owner or authorized signer. Now, who else would be putting it into the account? That's what I'm wondering. Why they even issued that notice. Wow. So
I don't know. Clearly, their controls are not in the order they should be. Let's just put it that way.
So we'll have more to hear about the Wells Fargo, I'm sure, in the days and weeks ahead. When we first started the story, it's got to be a couple of years now. We thought it was going to end really quickly, but it just got better and better and better. Meanwhile, let's talk about what's going on with earnings. We've had some terrific earnings reports, particularly Amazon came out on Thursday, and it just exploded 100 points. But Caterpillar also came out with some very interesting earnings. So this is good news, but good news.
This was the busiest week for the first quarter earnings reports to be coming in, and we saw some really strong reports coming in from the likes of Caterpillar. We had some decent reports from 3M. We had the tech stocks. You remember a week or so ago, Alphabet, parent for Google, reported, and they reported 20% revenue growth. They reported 20% profit growth, and it just wasn't good enough because some of their expenses were up. Traffic acquisition expenses, for example. So suddenly there was this worry about the tech stocks, and with the troubles that Facebook has had recently. And how would that affect the other stocks? Well, guess what? Amazon pulls in over $51 billion in revenue, up 43% from the year-ago period. Just as big a blowout number as you can imagine. $1.6 billion in profit. Even though they continue to invest a ton of money into the business, Amazon just outrageously strong. Oh, by the way, they're raising their Prime subscription rate for Amazon Prime customers because, they want to make even more. Microsoft came out with another strong report. This had to do with the cloud business, Azure. Cloud business very big for Amazon as well. In turn, that rolled over into the chip stocks. Specifically, Intel reported that they had very strong demand for the semiconductor chips that they make that power cloud computing. All of a sudden, tech comes roaring back. Guess what? The tech stocks are not dead and buried by any stretch of the imagination. And Facebook, by the way, most of their problems came out after the reporting period for the first quarter, but in the first quarter, they had blowout numbers. And from what I'm hearing, there hasn't really been that much fallout among users. Now, there are going to be some changes in how they operate, but among users, it seems to be business as normal. Everybody still goes on their Facebook page. Everybody still checks out their Facebook feeds, and nothing seems to have really changed. There could be some regulation, particularly coming out of Europe, but I think that the tech stocks are going to deal with it. The FANG stocks are far from dead at this point, and the little dip that we saw turns out that it was nothing more than a buying opportunity.
Sinclair, I want to thank you so much for joining us. We're talking to Sinclair No from KFN in 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. Sinclair, thank you again for your insights, and we look forward to speaking to you again this time next week.
Always a pleasure.
And as we do each week, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say on the Financial News Network from the 1980s and 1990s when he closed his show as we do, when he said, "We will know in the fullness of time."
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state, until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX or my website, danpilla.com.